Hello everyone, Wolfie here. There is no way of telling when phase 5 will come or how long will phase 3 and 4 last. Truth is, the content is not in abundance in these phases. Black Temple and Mount Hyjal are already on farm for many guilds, and those who are up for farming reputation for netherwing mount are steadily achieving their goal by doing dailies every day. But what about the rest who either achieve that or are not interested in that at all? Well, they are probably looking far in the future and planning their next steps and how to get richer, or just make sure to maintain their capital. I'll tell you what, there is a lot of time to spend it on investments. Just a notice before we get into it. It might differ from realm to realm, as usual, depending on population, type of realm, and just overall player pattern of behavior. So thanks for tuning in, invest in that subscribe button, and let's go. First we have Shadow Cloth and Spell Cloth. Depending on how hardcore your server is, these might be undervalued a bit right now, even though Spell Cloths are used even in phase 3 for shoulder crafts. Shadow Cloth isn't seeing much use right now at all. However, in phase 5 with daily trash farming of Sunwell for that juicy Sunfire robe pattern that requires 12 of each, there should be a spike in demand again, unless the casters on your realm calculated enough to make their cloths in advance. Surely those patterns will be freaking expensive compared to their mats, but we'll get to that part. Now you may say that only a tailor will be able to make the robe, so surely they will be smart enough to use their cooldowns in advance to stack on these. But I want you to keep in mind that unlike the robe, the Sunfire gloves are BOE. So even the non-tailors will be interested. Also, given the BOE gloves, stocking up on cloths and printing them for a sweet price is a moneymaker of its own. Also, the same goes for the leather and plate DPS equivalent, but their materials are easier to farm because there is no 4-day cooldown unlike with the cloths. You might be seeing a pattern here, but the second investment is also related to Sunwell pattern crafting. Adamantite, corium and mercurial adamantite. All of those are used to craft BOE rings. This will be a great investment, especially if you plan on farming Sunwell Trash on a jewel crafter or a miner, because the ring patterns from Sunwell Trash mobs are only visible to jewel crafters, and the hardened adamantite recipe is again only visible to miners. I personally used to make big money on hardened adamantite even just from smelting the mats from the auction house into it and reselling it. So I'm a big believer that this will be a great money maker, especially if you buy now, while the demand has been dropping. It wouldn't be my investments video had I not mentioned some time investments now with it. First, if you haven't done that already, level up a tank and gear it up enough for tanking Sunwell Trash Farm. It's rinse and repeat from Hyjal Trash Farming tanking with a twist. The twist is people are usually so desperate for a decent tank that they will agree to run first Sunmelt reserve for tank runs, meaning you easily get nice money every time you run Sunwell Trash because you don't have to win the role. If not that, then prepare your DPS character with Ospec gear ready to jump into Sunwell Trash tanking with Sunmelt or any other reserve, cause nowadays everything is on reserver. Maybe GDKP trash runs. Nah, I'm sure somebody has already thought of it. Second time investment I can recommend is investing some time into dungeon farming now when there is not that much to do. The reasoning here lies with Badges of Justice. Apart from the possibility of buying absolutely awesome catch-up items in the Sunwell phase, once the vendor is up, you definitely should farm as many badges as possible for phase 5. Once the phase 5 hits, along with Isle of Quel'Danas, there will be also an epic gem vendor that sells for, you guessed it, Badge of Justice. You can either resell the gems on auction house or use them to save some money for your own gems later on. A big plus to dungeon badge grinding is having an enchanter to disenchant all the gear no one needs for large prismatic shards, greater planner essences, and void crystals. You can either do it yourself or make a deal with an enchanter to roll on items after the dungeon has finished, whichever way you choose. You shouldn't neglect the fact that all these items are expensive and consumed in large quantities. On the new gear enchants, which we can expect a surge of once phase 5 rolls out and everyone starts upgrading their gear again. Another note on dungeon grinding is the primal nethers. They will be used for crafts of Sunwell BOP craftable gear in phase 5. While it might be rather hard to time the market in order to make decent profit reselling them, it is something that definitely won't be losing value. Quite the opposite, I'd say, given the fact that there is not much use for them in the current top crafting recipes. Phase 4 and 5 hype will soon start. I'm just making sure that you're calmly prepared for it. If there's a minor possibility of Wrath of the Lich King releasing plan, everyone would want to finish up TBC progression. One question for y'all, do you think Wrath of the Lich King, if released, will be fresh or not? and why you think so. That is it for this video. Stay safe and have fun playing the game. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.